Most people seem to fall into two categories, sun lovers or SPF lovers. But here's the truth. You can't generalize every opinion you see online or hear from influencers. We're all different. My skin type is different from yours, and we all have different skin types, ethnicities, and genetics. So what works for one person might not work for another. By the end of this video, you'll have a better idea of where you fit in, whether you are a sun lover or an SPF lover, or maybe someone who does a bit of both. So stick around till the end. What exactly do the sun and sunscreen do for our skin? The sun is great for us in a number of ways. Solar energy typically includes three types of energies: ultraviolet radiation, visible light, and infrared light. UVR is of three types: UVA, UVB, and UVC. The ozone layer present in the atmosphere acts as a natural filter, absorbing all the harmful UVC and a good chunk of UVB rays, protecting us from their damage. I would like to call the sun a necessary evil. Yep, you heard me right. Necessary evil. Let me tell you why it is called necessary. First off, the sun is essential for vitamin D production. When UVB rays hit our skin, cholesterol in our skin converts into vitamin D3. Then it goes through our liver, where it is converted into 25-hydroxy vitamin D3, which is what our doctors measure in blood tests. Finally, our kidneys turn it into the active form 1,25-dihydroxy vitamin D3, or cholecalciferol. This is a hormone that helps with calcium and phosphorus absorption, which is crucial for healthy bones. Without enough vitamin D, our bones can become weak, leading to diseases like rickets and osteomalacia. Vitamin D can also lower the risk of inflammation, tuberculosis, multiple sclerosis, high blood pressure, and even diabetes. Next is UV-induced melanogenesis, which means our skin makes more melanin when we are in the sun. Melanin gives our skin its color and acts like a natural sunscreen, protecting us from UV-induced DNA damage. Then there is UV exposure-induced nitric oxide production. Sun exposure triggers the production of nitric oxide, which helps reduce hypertension and decreases the risk of cardiovascular diseases. Sun exposure also improves our mood. UV radiation leads to the production of endorphins, which are released into our blood and travel to our brain, making us feel happier. It also helps release serotonin, a mood booster that makes us feel calm and relaxed. Without enough sun, our serotonin levels drop, which can lead to depression and seasonal mood swings. And there's more. The infrared light from the sun penetrates our skin and stimulates melatonin production. This melatonin is super important for our sleep-wake cycle. It helps us sleep better. So getting some sun is really important. But if you remember, I have mentioned it as necessary evil. How did this necessary sun all of a sudden become evil? So let's take a quick peek into the evolution of great solar debate, and by the end, you'll get your answers. Back in the 1600s, in countries like Europe and North America, people covered their entire bodies even in the summertime. Because of this lack of sun exposure, many children developed rickets, a bone disease caused by vitamin D deficiency. By the late 1800s, 90% of children had some form of this disease. Doctors then started promoting sunbathing to help. And guess what? It worked. At the same time, tuberculosis was also found to respond to sunlight, especially skin TB, that is cutaneous tuberculosis. So suddenly, sunbathing became popular, but that didn't last long. By the 1930s, the US Public Health Service issued warnings against sun-related health risks. They suggested avoiding midday summer sun and recommended only 5 to 10 minutes of exposure per day to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer, which was becoming the most common cancer worldwide, especially in places like Australia and New Zealand. Then in the 1970s, scientists noted that the ozone layer, which protects us from harmful UV rays, was depleting due to man-made chemicals like chlorofluorocarbons from refrigerators and air conditioners. This meant more UV radiation was reaching Earth, increasing the risk of skin-related diseases. In September 2000, the ozone hole reached its largest historic extent at 28.4 million square kilometers. Fast forward to 2023, the ozone hole is larger compared to 2022, which means the ozone's protection against UV rays isn't like before. We are exposed to much more intense UV rays than in the past. UVA penetrates the skin and causes premature aging and long-term skin damage like wrinkles and sunspots. UVB is more intense and can directly damage DNA, leading to skin cancer and sunburns. UVC thankfully doesn't reach the ground because it is stopped by the ozone layer. Overexposure to the sun destroys collagen fibers in the skin, decreases vitamin A, and can cause cataracts. WHO has also made it clear that an estimated 3 million cataract cases annually are due to UV exposure. UV overexposure can also suppress your immune system. The Intersun Global UV Project is one such initiative by the WHO and other organizations to reduce the burden of UV-related diseases. Australia was the first country to start a large-scale sun protection program in the 1980s with their Slip, Slop, Slap campaign, which includes slip on a shirt, slop on some sunscreen, slap on a hat, and has evolved to include seeking shade and sliding on sunglasses. These measures have proven effective in reducing skin cancer rates and promoting safe sun habits. So it's clear that sun protection is essential. Now, when I say sun protection, it isn't just about sunscreen. It's about 5 S's. Slip on a shirt, slop on some sunscreen, slap on a hat, seek shade, and slide on sunglasses. The incidence of skin cancer led to strong sun protection measures, but there is also concern about vitamin D deficiency. The fact is, harmful effects of UV exposure outweigh the benefits, so balance is the key. Even with high SPF sunscreens, some sunlight enters the skin, so you don't need to worry about missing out on vitamin D. Getting some sun is really important for our health, but remember, it is a necessary evil. You need to take all these factors into consideration before deciding whether you are a sun lover or a sunscreen lover, or if you can stay in the middle and follow both. The bottom line is that regular sun exposure is the most natural way to get enough vitamin D. For healthy levels, 10 to 30 minutes of midday sun daily or 2 to 3 times a week is enough. Exposure time depends on how sensitive your skin is and how far you live from the equator. People with darker skin may need more time in the sun compared to those with lighter skin. For example, pale-skinned people can get around 50,000 international units of vitamin D3 from just 30 minutes in the midday summer sun. Tan folks get about 20,000 to 30,000 units, while dark-skinned individuals may only get 8,000 to 10,000 units in the same time. This means darker skinned people need more sun exposure to achieve the same vitamin D levels. So modest sun exposure is enough. Get your 15 to 30 minutes of unprotected sun exposure between 10 AM to 4 PM, followed by some good sun protection strategies. This way you get your needed vitamin D without risks. Apply your sunscreen to prevent sunburns and skin cancer. Use SPF 50 or more if you're outdoors and SPF 30 if you're indoors working near a window. Remember, the sun is necessary, but too much can be evil. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep smiling through it all.